Hi, everyone. How's everybody doing? I hope you're all doing well and that you're having a good day. We're focusing on the orange dumbass and his entire administration, the GOP, and ICE, and what ICE has been doing to U.S. citizens. Jeffrey Epstein and those files, so far they haven't gone anywhere. They've been supposedly released. Hell, they're redacted wherever they wanted to redact them. We're never going to see that shit. Not in its entirety. There's no way. And even if we do, I don't think anything's going to be done. So let's begin on a kind of different subject. We'll talk about that heroin addict. The convicted felon, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the embarrassment of the Kennedy family. Seriously, my 12-year-old grandson is smarter than he is. No doubt. And he had no experience in healthcare when the orange buffoon put him as the head of the Department of Health and Human Services. Human Services. I don't think he's a human himself. He is a known conspiracy theorist and an anti-vaccine activist. And he's sure been pushing that. There are plenty of stupid people in this country that will actually listen to that moron. The guy who destroyed his brain with heroin. I suppose he had some kind of worm or something. So now, we have a serious rise of measles in the United States. And that's due to Worm Brain Kennedy, really. Vaccines save lives. All of you ignorant parents who are anti-vaxxers, I'm sure were vaccinated when you were a child. And now you're not going to vaccinate your own? Against these horrible viruses? Are you kidding me? Oh, but you'll be okay. Just your children won't. All I get from that is that you don't care if your children suffer from an avoidable illness, or even worse, if they're no longer with us because of you anti-vaxxers. Vaccines do not cause autism. That's been proven, okay, over and over again. No, it does not. One stupid doctor said it a long time ago, and then everybody jumped on that bandwagon. You're all followers. MAGA, right? According to the Worm Brain and his orange boss, Tylenol causes autism. What a joke. That one was pretty good. But that claim in itself is an admission from our government that vaccines don't cause autism. Tylenol does. There you go. Idiots. But now South Carolina is now the hot spot for measles. And it's surpassed the measles case count that Texas has had, with 878 cases to date in South Carolina, 762 in Texas. But it's in Texas where 2 little girls didn't survive it. For you anti-vax idiots out there, measles are nothing to be taken lightly. In case you don't know about them, it's not just like a rash. No. Usually begins with a high fever. And that high fever could go as high as 105 degrees Fahrenheit. Then there's a cough, a runny nose, conjunctivitis, eyes all irritated and red. Then a few days later, the rash appears somewhere around the face or on the neck, and then it spreads down their entire little bodies. Mm-hmm. Along with, oh, some white spots in their mouth. Yeah, they could have that too. But there's also serious complications. So listen up. They include pneumonia and encephalitis. Pneumonia is an infection of the lungs. Encephalitis, it's water on the brain. And swelling, swelling in the brain, which causes fluid, whatever. Both of these conditions can be fatal. And encephalitis can cause lasting brain damage. Measles can also cause a form of encephalitis called subacute sclerosing panencephalitis. I know, long fancy words, but that can develop within 6 to 15 years, give or take, after the measles. So this form of encephalitis is fatal. There is no treatment. That's it. You get this 10 years after you had measles as a child because your parents didn't vaccinate you. It could still end your life. Interesting though, huh? And I suppose that you anti-vaxxers, you're willing to risk that with your child? Okay. Doesn't say too much for you, does it? No. Now let's switch up here to an even more serious virus. One that could be coming our way. One for which there's no vaccine. And it can become the next pandemic. I'm talking about the Nipah virus. Nipah. There's an outbreak now in India. And it's also been found in Thailand, Nepal, Malaysia, and Singapore. It's a zoonotic. It's a zoonotic disease, meaning it's primarily found in animals. And it can obviously be spread to people. So it's possibly right now being spread by fruit bats in India. And that virus, it's just a reminder to us that we're destroying habitats, okay? This could possibly be the effects of us destroying the habitats of animals that are now forced out amongst us. Animals are bringing with them disease. The Nipah virus, it can also cause something called encephalitis and seizures, and it can progress to a coma within 24 to 48 hours. It starts out with symptoms similar to COVID, like a cough, a sore throat, a headache. But the likelihood of death from the Nipah virus is 40 to 75%. Whoa. That's high, very high. And God help this world if that virus becomes a pandemic. Most of civilization will be wiped out. And the bumbling duo of Trump and Elon Musk, otherwise known as Doge, they've pretty much gutted all of our health agencies. So we're kind of screwed. We're going to have a hard time if we don't have the great minds of the CDC, the NIH, the FDA. Those scientists, brilliant scientists that have saved us so many times before. They're no longer there. May the orange idiot be the first to go. Anyways, are you proud of yourselves now, MAGA? Yeah, so a few people have been unalived by ICE. A few people have maybe gone off to the great blue yonder there because of cuts in Medicaid or services. Here and there. What we're talking about right now is a virus that could potentially wipe us out. But hey, Megan, hey, you keep on going there, huh? Idiots. So, what more can I say? Other than, have a good day. Keep your hopes up high, I guess. And I'll be seeing you.